beautiful souls. Welcome to Soulful Sessions with Rory, the podcast where we dive deep inside the matters of the heart, mind, and spirit. I'm your host, Rory, and I'm thrilled to embark on this soulful journey with each and every one of you. Soulful Sessions with Rory is your safe space for introspection, inspiration, and maybe even a little revelation. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee, winding down after a long day, or just seeking a moment of connection, you're in the right place. Before we dive into today's soulful exploration, I want to remind you that Soulful Sessions with Rory is designed for entertainment purposes only. While we may touch on profound topics and meaningful discussions, it's important to approach our conversation with an open heart and a sense of curiosity. Life is a journey, and so is this podcast. We'll navigate the realms of self-discovery, spirituality, and personal growth. But remember, the insights we share here are not a substitute for professional advice or guidance. Always consult with the appropriate professionals regarding your unique circumstances. So whether you're a seasoned seeker or just dipping your toes in the waters of self-exploration, get ready for a blend of wisdom, laughter, and a touch of magic in each episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a soulful moment. Follow me on social media, IG at Soulful Explorer, Facebook at Listening Veteran Life Coach, and Snapchat, Rory_Soulful Explorer. With 2 L's to stay connected, share your thoughts, and be a part of this incredible community. Now let the journey begin. Sit back, relax, and let's fill our souls together. Today's Soulful episode is Friends, Validation, Narcissism, Oh My. Well, I want to first say thank you for tuning in today, but we're going to talk about something a little different. You always hear people talking about couples and relationships and being together. Well, today I want to touch on friendships. You know, I've heard so many people who are angry at their friends, so many people who says this person doesn't respect me, this person doesn't like me, we were supposed to be friends, they talked behind my back, they betrayed me. There are so many friendship problems. Well, I want to kind of address that today. So one of the first things you have to do is decide, what does friendship mean to you? So I'm going to tell you what it means to me. So a friend, a true friend, is someone who has my back, someone who actually tries to figure out, hey, Rory, are you okay? Someone who laughs with me, someone who jokes with me, someone who calls just because it's a Tuesday for no reason, just to chit chat, and that's a friend. If I call them and I'm in distress, they take the time to hear what's going on. And they may or may not offer advice. Sometimes I don't want advice. So they may just listen. And when I'm done, they go, hey, you done? I'm done. All right. And that to me is a friend. If I call at 2 a.m. and I need help, it's not even a question. Now, of course, there are other variables that can go into that, whether or not they have a significant other, and you don't want to disturb them. Like it's so many other things, but I'm speaking in generalizations. So you have to figure out, what does friendship mean to you? And now here's where it gets a little weird in the water. What are your expectations of your friends? I just kind of gave you a brief synopsis on what I expect of my friends, but the truth is, my expectations, I believe, are really high when it comes to my friends. For instance, I do want to feel like my friends are willing to sacrifice for me. And when I say sacrifice, I mean, I expect them, like I said, that 2 a.m. call. Hey, what you need, brother? I'm getting dressed. What's going on? Or I say, hey, something happened. I need assistance. And a lot of times when you have friends, they don't even have to, you don't have to ask them for anything. They just kind of know, or they're willing to step up and say, hey man, what do you need? The other thing is, when it comes to expectations, what I expect of my friends, I try to make it realistic. Now, that's a me issue, because if you got a friend that didn't step up the way you wanted them to step up, you do have to stop and ask yourself, was it a them issue or a me issue? And if they're my friend, is it even an issue? If you can understand what friendship means to you and why, for instance, I know that my definition of friend is related to how I was raised. It's related to the relationships that I had as a kid with my parents, with my siblings. And so how I treat my friends, a lot of it comes from the nurturing that I needed. A lot of it comes from what I desire to see in people. So with my friends, I have high expectations. That's when someone says, oh, we're best friends. Oh, I don't know if you want to be my best friend, because I have some standards, and there's no baby oil involved. Just letting you know. You don't need baby oil if you want to be my friend. So, but seriously, it's like you got to know what you're desiring from a friend. Whether it's a male friend, female friend, or someone of the opposite sex or same sex. You need to know and understand, what are my expectations of this friend and this friendship? What is their role to me? Because what may happen is you see this person in one light and they see you in another light. For me, this year, it seems like I'm losing friends. And of course, I don't want to lose friends, but I'm losing friends because I feel that their expectation of me is not what I'm giving them. And they've already come up with an assumption of who I am to them. So there was never a conversation. It was, oh, well, he didn't do what I expected, so clearly he's not my friend. Now, truth be told, that hurts. But when you love yourself unconditionally, losing a friend is a temporary feeling. It's sad because sometimes it's many years involved. Sometimes there's so many things that you've done with that person that you really do feel a disconnect. But that disconnect you feel could also be the disconnect they felt that made them say, this isn't for me, this friendship. So, which takes me to another topic involving friendship, which is deal breakers. You have to decide, what is a deal breaker in your friendship? So I'm not going to say any names, but there's a certain person who would always say, oh, I'm not talking to this person again. I'm done. They don't have my back like I have theirs. When I call them to have a conversation, they don't pay me any mind. They seem disinterested. So I'm done. And then, 20, 30 days later, they're hanging out with the same person, having the same conversations. And they're getting something from that friend. So the true deal breakers haven't happened. A deal breaker for me is, of course, if someone lies to me, someone steals from me, if someone shows up to my house with 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's a deal breaker. Just saying, no diddy. So the deal breakers, you got to know your own deal breakers, and you should be able to articulate those deal breakers with your friend, and they shouldn't be offended. If I'm married and I have a friend, male or female, and they can't speak to my spouse or say hello to my spouse or even befriend my spouse slightly, just a little bit, then they're not my friend. Because I don't ever want my spouse to have to question my friendship. That doesn't make sense to me. So that's a deal breaker for me too. If you're my friend and you call me on the phone and I'm with my girlfriend, fiance, a wife, all three of them at the same time, you better speak to all three of them. Because if not, then we got a problem. But that's something that you express in your friendship. You tell them, and if I'm going through something with somebody, if you're my friend, I don't expect you to bash that person. No, what I do expect you to do is to be listening and understanding. Don't defend that person while I'm trying to say I'm angry at them or I'm bothered by them. And you're giving me excuses for them. Well, they might have just been going through something. This is not about them, Barbara. This is about me. And as my friend, I'm asking you to support me in this moment. Not argue with me, not debate with me. I want you to be able to say, hey, Rory, I understand how you feel. Or, hey, Rory, man, I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm going to pray for your peace. What do you need from me as a friend? The other thing that I think is important in friendship is holding yourself accountable for your actions. Any of my friends know I suck at calling somebody back. You know, I don't know why I even say I'm going to call you back, because I'm not. I don't intentionally lie. I literally get busy or my brain gets sidetracked and I'll go, oh my God, I'm supposed to call them back. And it's a week later. So now this person is probably offended because that might be one of their deal breakers, or they might take it personally. Now, I'm going to tell you this, my real friends, they know 3-4 weeks can go by, 6 months can go by. It's not personal. I'm not intentionally avoiding you. I'm literally just forgetting. And, people say, well, Rory, if it's important, you'll remember it. The lies they tell. You know how many important things I have forgotten? Whew, and still do? So no, it's not that simple. So, and I'm not making any excuses. I still think it's wrong. Because if you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it. So what I started doing is changing the wording just a little bit. We'll talk soon. Soon is relative, subjective, whatever. You know what I mean. Oh, I'll talk to you later. Later is later, Or I'll just say it was good talking to you. You have a great day. Because I don't want to instill false hope. But I've been trying to call people back. It's difficult, especially when you have so many different things going on in your life. But it's not impossible, because as a friend, I also know that what I desire for me should be the same thing I'm able to give to them. It's not about what I think friendship is. It's about the sacrifice I'm willing to make for my friend. So if my friend says, Rory, it really hurts my feelings when you do not call me back after you said you were going to call me back. Okay. I'm going to call you back. I'm going to put it on my calendar. I'm going to send myself a text. And I'm going to do my best to call you back, because it's not personal. It happens. But you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to hold yourself accountable. When you're being honest with yourself, you're not only just being honest about your behavior, you're being honest about what you see in this friendship. Is this person really your friend? Do they check on you? Do they see if you're okay? Do they know what's going on in your life? And you can't be mad at them if they don't, if you're not opening up to them. Transparency is so important. Notice I said transparent and not vulnerability. Being vulnerable means to be in a weakened state. Transparent, you're exposing yourself, your emotions, but you're not weak, because emotions are a sign of strength. So you have to ask yourself, was I transparent enough to make them feel comfortable with checking on me? Asking about my mental status, my physical status, what's going on? Because if you lose your job, do you have people that's going to say, hey, I get it, man. You good? How can I assist you? Or do you suffer in silence because you haven't allowed yourself to be open about things? When you have a breakup, do you hold on to it or do you let it go? And you allow people to know that you care about, hey, here's what I'm going through. The one thing that I don't want you to forget is that your friends are human. They go through things too. They have problems that you know nothing about. So when you're going through your thing, they might just happen to be going through their thing. And then here you are with your expectations. Expecting them to be what you think you are to them. And that's the other thing, being honest with yourself, because sometimes people get a little delusional and they believe that they are representing the friendship the way that they want that friend to represent the friendship to them, not realizing that they're just as selfish. They don't check on you. They don't make sure you're good. Any tragedy that you've had or triumph, they haven't been there. But in their mind, because you shared the experience with them, because you talked to them about it, because you didn't hold them accountable, they think they're good and that you're the one with the problem. But that's okay. All I'm saying is that you need to pay attention to the whole core of the friendship. Now, sometimes you might feel that something's a little off in your friendship with that person, and you find yourself defending yourself and being their friend. Now, what I believe, and I could be wrong, you might be in a friendship with a narcissist. You know, if you find yourself in a conversation and it seems like the conversation is always steering towards them and their problems or them and their life, like you say, you know, man, today was a rough day and I just was trying to, and they say, oh, I had a rough day too. You know, my supervisor this and this, blah, 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 and you don't get a word in. And then let's say they do let you get a word in, and it's like they have no empathy at all for what's going on with you. You just told them this heartbreaking news, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, you know, yesterday and you're just looking like, did they just do that? Not only that, but after they've told you all these wonderful things about themselves, they're looking for you to validate who they are, to validate their emotions. They want you to compliment and praise them for everything that they've done, even after you've sat there and said, hey, I'm going through something. Forget what you're going through. It's my birthday. Forget what you're going through. I just got promoted at work. Forget what you're going through. I just got into a new relationship. And you're sitting there empty because this friendship is not giving you what you need. But you do it. Well, happy birthday. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You always doing big things. And they've not cared about nothing that's going on in your life. But let's just say you call it to their attention. Hey, I was talking. I was trying to tell you what's going on with me. And they'll cut you off. Well, you know what? See, you always do this. You always do this. You make it about you. And, you know, I'm sitting over here trying to express what I've been through and the good things that happened to me. And you don't want to give me my credit. Gaslighting. They become the victim. Because clearly, you having any kind of emotion is a problem. So they have to let you know how you hurt them because you were hurting. I'm mad at you for having emotions. I'm mad at you for not showing up for me because you were going through something. Goes back to understanding what being a friend is for you. Because if that person is not fitting the criteria, what did I say? You have to be honest with yourself. When they have bruised or affected the friendship, they need to take accountability. You know, a lot of times when people do things out of anger, out of hurt, they say things and do things. And if we don't hold them accountable, they'll never grow. If they don't grow, then that friendship will never change. You know, pay attention to how they date. Pay attention to how they talk and interact with other people. More importantly, pay attention to how they treat you. You are not a second-class citizen. You are as important as you allow them to treat you. See, you have to know your own self-worth and value before anything. So even if they don't take accountability, you're enforcing a standard. You're telling them, hey, look, this is who I am. This is what I need. in our friendship? Are you okay with that? Sometimes friendships can be one-sided. You may not notice this, but you're doing a lot. You're giving of your time, your energy, and your attention, your tea. And you're doing it because it's just who you are. You didn't ask for anything in return, but it just goes back to the cup half empty. If you keep pouring into people who are not pouring into you, you will become empty and stressed, frustrated. And you still turn to these same people for help. So you have to be careful and ensure that you are not allowing them to dictate the conversation, to dictate the friendship. It should be a mutual balance of friendship. You also got to be careful when you have a friendship with a narcissist. They can be jealous of your success. They can be jealous of your relationships. They could sit here and be jealous of any achievement that you have and smile. But then they'll turn around and say something, like, oh, you got that little business. Oh, you and your little boyfriend. You and your little girlfriend. And they try to undermine everything that you hold sacred. They never want to share in your good news. Now, on the flip side to that, your friends that you're calling friends who just may not be your friends and just might be narcissists, it can be what I call a conditional friendship, or a lot of people refer to it as transactional. Well, if you do this for them, they'll do that for you. And you don't even realize it because you're just thinking they're nice. But they're only responding to what you do for them. And at some point, they'll even tell you, well, what do I get out of this? What do I get out of this moment that you want me to create? What do you mean? So if I go out to eat with you, what do I get? Are you paying for dinner? So you have to be careful because when they feel that you are of no use to them, they'll eventually become less responsive. So when it comes time to hang out, when it comes time to do different things, they're not going to respond to you. They're not going to be there because it's not about them. It's not about their growth. It's not about their movement. So you find yourself becoming more and more distant. And they accept it because they knew that you couldn't praise them from afar anyway. So be careful with that. The other thing that you got to be careful of in friendships is one of the most important things that you'll see narcissists do, and it's the love bombing. As a friend, oh my God, you're so great, you're so wonderful, I love you so much, you're everything. And then all of a sudden, when you are no longer of use to them, you barely get a phone call. There are no more compliments, there's nothing else. There's no treating you to dinner or to lunch. And there's nothing wrong with somebody not doing that. It's only something wrong to me if we established a friendship based off previous behaviors. And I feel like that's the thing that you have to be careful about because it can go wrong. So I feel like each of us understands who we are as a friend. Each of us may have had a narcissistic friend that we dealt with that we kind of overlooked. But I need you to look at yourself first, then look at them and make the decision on who you're going to be to your friends, because that may have a lot to do with who they decide to be to you. So if you're in the Texas area and you're looking or in need of mental health help, I need you to go to www.mentalhealthdefenseandfitness.com. www.mentalhealthdefenseandfitness.com to schedule an appointment with a mental health professional. Thank you, beautiful souls, for joining me today on another enlightening episode of Soulful Sessions with Rory. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might benefit. As we navigate the depths of introspection and explore the boundless possibilities of the human spirit, remember that your journey is uniquely your own, and every twist and turn is a sacred part of your story. Embrace the whispers of your soul, and may the echoes of our conversations linger in your heart, sparking a flame of self-discovery. Until we meet again in the realm of shared wisdom, stay true to your essence, stay connected to the rhythm of your soul, and always remember that you are a masterpiece in the making. Wishing you love, light, and infinite possibilities on your soulful journey. Until next time, this is Rory, signing off with gratitude and reverence for the magic that resides in each and every one of you.